Welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Brenham, Texas. Today is October the 26th, 2022, and today's Star Report has tons of energy happening on it, but it seems to be positive energy. Those of you who are overwhelmed by the great amount of energy might not think that's the case. It might feel a little overwhelming, but that you know the energy that is flowing through the universe is positive and in your favor and helping you to become more yourself. The extra energy that's in the cosmos this week will be beneficial. So let's get right to it. That thing we see in the sky, unless it is cloudy, all day is the sun, and the sun weather today is going to be all right. Yesterday we had the partial solar eclipse, probably not visible. At least I didn't see it yesterday from Texas, so we'll see about that. But the partial solar eclipse left us into a lot of solar energy. The sun itself is actually quite calm. There hasn't been that many large flares. None of them have been Earth directed. And the coronal hole streams, which are the dark parts when you look at the sun, they call them coronal holes. Those coronal hole streams are should be hitting today and tomorrow, and they already, as they turned Earth facing yesterday, caused a couple of earthquakes. I think there was a large one in the Philippines, and then there was a large one, or a significantly noticeable one, in San Francisco yesterday as well. And so pay attention to the solar weather doing that. That's just going to feel like a little bit of pressure, right? But with the energy that's happening in the cosmos, especially with the eclipse that just happened, it's not going to feel as intense or feel like stagnating as it usually is, almost like it keeps you stuck with so much pressure from the sun. And so that leads us into the solar eclipse actually opens a two week, that's 14 days, window of the eclipse in between the next eclipse of the quote unquote season, which is going to be a lunar eclipse. That lunar eclipse is going to be on November the 8th, and that's going to be a full blood moon lunar eclipse. And so that'll end this sort of 2-week period of ramped up energy. This energy with the sun, with the energy that's sort of going on in the cosmos, with the activity of the other planetary astrological signs that are going on, is really making this 2-week period a manifestation period, right? So that might cause some anxiety. A lot of times we have a little bit of anxiety left over about choosing or having the energy to choose and not choosing. And so manifestation sometimes brings a little bit of anxiety to people. So that's totally fine to be a little bit anxious about all this energy that's moving through and making right decisions. That's totally fine. But what's going on with this one is the energy is such that the manifestations are starting to uncover and also to mute the tendencies that we've had before in our lives. And that could be any lives. You could be my age, which is in my mid 40s. You could be in your 40s, you can be in your 30s, you can be in your 20s. And so this is going to mute or diminish the personality qualities which have kept you from manifesting your true nature. And so that energy is going to allow you to actually manifest what soul wants you to do, what your heart really deep down wants you to do, that may have been sidelined or sideswiped or put to the background because of your personality or where you lived or how you had to interact with people to get by. And so this is really sort of a manifestation which is going to take hold. And so that also could cause a slight bit of anxiety because it's going to be a newness, right? So when you mess up in regular repetitive ways in a formable pattern, sometimes that becomes comfortable, but this is going to give you a new pattern or the ability to make a new pattern, right? So you want to, this 2-week period, especially this week at the beginning, trying to get your mind right, you want to get your thoughts in order, and you want to use, if you're a metaphysician or if you're into metaphysics or if you're into with the woo-woo, and even psychological understandings of how to manifest and get the mind right. If you want to use those techniques that you already know to sort of maximize the energy of this 2 weeks to sort of create a life that you've been working for, right? We went through all these retrogrades. We had the Saturn stuff and all that things that were over last week. So you really want to sort of construct something new based on what you removed over the last several months. And then just something to sort of pay attention to this manifestation issue. One of my favorite things to do is to journal a future where what I'm trying to manifest has already occurred. And there's tons of people that have large platforms that talk about this all the time, but really it's talking to yourself. It's writing a little note to yourself, almost like you've seen in popular movies and stuff like that, where people sort of leave notes in desk drawers or send emails to people who are their predecessors or their successors about, hey, here's how the job goes and all that fun stuff like this. You're sending your future self a letter, or you're sending a letter from your future self back to you about all of these things that you're manifesting having come true in the best possible way. And then what's really going to sort of undergird that is not necessarily the detail, but write lots of detail, because that's going to make it easier. But also the emotions, you want to sort of write those down. What would it feel like to get everything you wanted? What would it feel like to walk a higher path? And when you write that down and sort of revisit that, especially over this next 2 weeks, just sort of start writing today, tomorrow, and then revisit it every day, maybe even edit a little bit, like, oh, I thought about that and I think this would make me feel even better, moving towards the emotion, whether that emotion you want is calmness, happiness, abundance. Write that into the journal stuff for this manifestation. And then one of the things is going to be similar. This is a full blood moon eclipse that's happening on November the 8th. That is going to be very similar to the May full blood moon eclipse, lunar eclipse. So any kind of energy, any kind of things that you've been working on since May, but also May is also Taurus. And so Taurus is really, you want to focus on not just pie in the sky stuff, but Taurus is about earthly stuff, about nice things, about creating a life which is abundant here and now on the physical plane. And so you really want to sort of use this energy to manifest those kinds of things. It's going to be the most powerful. Now, since I sort of said that the energy, the way it is going to mute the personality and help you make choices based on your higher self, right? So your higher self wants to manifest good things into this now. So you don't really have to worry about the personality stuff or choosing wrongly about the earthly things, because your soul is going to come through and help that manifest into its highest potential. So pay attention to that. Sunday, which is part of the energy that's going to be getting us or helping us with this manifestation process over the next 2 weeks, is going to be Mars goes retrograde. And so Mars, we mentioned it a couple times in the last couple of weeks about we were in the pre-shadow of this Mars retrograde. Mars only goes retrograde, I think, every 2 years or so. So this is, another 2-year cycle, right? So 2020. Think about all the things that you want to manifest that are not that. And so Sunday, Mars goes into retrograde, and that's just a masculine energy. And that masculine energy is really an active energy. And so combined with this communication from soul that's going on this week, this alignment helps the soul override that personality, like I was saying. And it's a good time to transmute and even monetize emotions, right? So you might be feeling emotions, good or bad, right? And so if you're nervous, turn that energy that's creating, right? Maybe it's an overwhelming nervous, turn that into funding of focus of energy in the body and just sort of redirect it. It's going to be easier over this 2 weeks to sort of redirect that energy. And so you want to pay attention to go ahead and do that. And then that leads us into the end of October, which I believe is on the 31st. And I believe that is an 11 Master Day. And so that is going to be a really powerful day. It's also in popular culture, Halloween, and then All Saints or All Souls Day. So the veil in between that, right? So your cosmic help is going to be ever more present with the power to act with the Mars energy, right? So Mars goes retrograde on Sunday. Then we have 31st coming up after that. And so all that energy together with the eclipse energy is really a positive thing. And like I said, the best way to sort of manifest and work with that is going to be this journaling from a letter from your future self to you about how awesome all these changes have been and how you feel about it. And then the highest possible outcome of those, right? So you want to write a perfect story or a perfect feeling story, and then visit that over the week. I think that's the star report in a nutshell. It's a lot of energy. You can hear me talking faster. I'm excited about the energy. It's even sort of helping me to sort of move into this stuff. Right. I was, if you can tell, over the last couple of weeks, the energy of the broadcast has been such that it's been slowing down because it's been this great deep upheaval. Now we're moving into, okay, I'm feeling free, right? I've left the reins or the bridle of all of the things that I was carrying with me that I've sloughed off from the Saturn return and all the retrogrades, and I'm moving forward. And I'm doing that by using internal energy caused by the Mars retrograde to do that. That being said, some new things are happening here at the shop. Um, November the 6th. So I'm using this energy to start our weekly breathwork class, group class. So those are going to be on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. They're going to be about an hour and a half. So you can plan to put a little bit of effort in to elemental rhythm breathwork and just breathing through the week, adding energy to yourself, also adding the ability to manifest, building up the energy within the body, all kinds of those spiritual benefits that you can read on the website, and also physical benefits of what breathwork does to sort of bring your week into focus, or to bring the previous week. If you're one of the people who thinks that the week ends on Sunday instead of begins on Sunday, you can sort of lay to rest everything that might have been difficult, or gain energy to keep doing what you did the week previous in those sessions. They're going to be limited to about 10 people. There should be a way eventually, probably not yet. I haven't put the thing to buy it online, but definitely call the shop, come by the shop. There is limited space for those classes, maybe 10 to 15 at the most. People can be in those, and they're going to be regular price is $44, but for this introductory rate, we're going to be at $22, so half off for the foreseeable future. And so you want to look to do that. Call the shop, newdimensionscrystals.com is the website. Look at all the details about that. And then also this Sunday, it's a holiday weekend, so we will not have Sundays at 7 meditation. And then moving forward, we're looking to move the meditation into not a long a long extended meditation of like the 40 minutes that we've been doing on the Sunday nights. And move that to a smaller guided meditation or focus after the breath work, which is, maybe 10, 15 minutes at the end of a breath work session, which is why the session extends into an hour and a half. So that's coming to the shop in November. So go ahead and look for that. I believe that is November 6th, Sunday at 10 a.m. Hope to see some of you there, or all of you there. But maybe we'll have to add classes if 10 to 15 fills up really quick. And again, that's going to be regular price $44, but for now, $22 just for an hour and a half of spiritual work. It's easy. It's the technique is simple, but the more effort you put into, the greater the results can be. And just sort of a little hint about the Sundays. Most of you know that I was a former Lutheran pastor, and so Sundays are a time to do spiritual work for me. Always have been for the last 46 years, because I was a regular church attender before I became a church leader. And so the idea that what we're doing on Sunday mornings with that work is spirit work, right? So spirit, breath, ruach, the Hebrew word, prana, ki, chi, all the energies which are given to the energy that moves through the cosmos, the plasma that is the giver of life. We're moving that in and out of the body with intent, with control, with power. And what that does is that enlivens the body with more spirit. And so then that spirit can actually animate the body rather than the biochemical mind. And so what that does is that releases all kinds of things from the body, spiritual stuff, biochemical stuff, toxin stuff, right? So you might sweat, you might get cold, all kinds of things are possible. So that's why we're doing it on Sunday. And hey, downtown Brenham's a great place to be. And so afterwards, there are several places downtown that have a brunch or a breakfast or are open at about 11 or 11:30. And so maybe we can all go over and have some of those festivities downtown that downtown Brenham offers. I think that's all for today. I had a ton of things, but my bullet points didn't make it to the paper. So that's what I know. and I hope that you have a great week. And until next week, many blessings. Bye bye.